Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to another great episode of The Spread. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with JK47, and Big Easy. Keeping that baseball talk going, we're bringing more AL Central to you. The Chicago White Sox are on the docket. And in the words of the great Harry Doyle, 47, what can you say about the White Sox except at least they're not from Canada?
From Canada, they aren't. Although they could get to Canada, Great Lakes.
If they had a boat?
Yeah, they do.
Look, I liked what the White Sox did last offseason. I projected them to be a lot better than they were. And I'm not saying I hate what they did this offseason either. I think they look like a pretty good team. They only re-signed one player, relief pitcher Matt Elbers. They didn't make huge signings or anything. They signed, I know everybody likes shortstop Jimmy Rollins. They signed him to a minor league deal. Maybe he can make the team. In fact, they are maybe a little short at shortstop right now, if any position offensively.
Puns.
They also signed starting pitcher Matt Latos for this rotation for the back end of it. I think that's a pretty good signing.
That was a big story here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I guess his girlfriend. What about his girlfriend?
I don't know. She apparently hates Pittsburgh, but a lot of Pirate fans were pissed off because they didn't sign Latos and they signed Vogelsong instead.
Well, Latos was out there a long time. They could have definitely signed both. I mean, there was some reason that the Pirates didn't go after. Really, a lot of teams. I see why some teams aren't going after Matt Latos, but the Pirates are a team that likes those projects that have big upside. So I thought that was a guy they could definitely go after. But the Chicago White Sox, a couple other guys they signed here, two catchers. I like these signings. Catcher Dioner Navarro and catcher Alex Avila. I think that puts together a pretty good combo of catchers there. Plus, they still have Rob Brantley, still a young guy who really hasn't met all his potential either. So they have three pretty good catchers out there that I believe can give them good value this season. And they signed Travis Ishikawa to a minor league contract, see if he can make the team as well. They made two big trades, really. They traded for Todd Frazier to play third base. It was a three-team deal. The Chicago White Sox actually sent Frankie Montes, Micah Johnson, and Trace Thompson to the Dodgers. The Dodgers gave Jose Peraza to the Reds, while Todd Frazier here ends up with the White Sox. And I mean, obviously Todd Frazier, the biggest part of this deal. Everybody else is prospects. And I mean, all four of these guys have upside as prospects. I actually like Micah Johnson as a second baseman, Trace Thompson as an outfielder, and Jose Peraza is the top second base prospect in baseball, really, outside of Yohan Moncada maybe. But Todd Frazier, he's an immediate impact player to play third base for this team. So, I mean, that's a big deal. I know, 47, you don't like Todd Frazier too much, but you got to admit the power's there.
Well, the power's definitely there, but my question is where was it after the All-Star break last year?
Yeah, he did fall apart, but he was on an MVP run the first half of the season.
Well, he definitely was. But that weak second half draws a red flag with me right there. What's he going to do over the stretch of a season? They need his bat. That's why they traded for him.
I understand, but it's not like Todd Frazier. That's the first time he ever showed anything. It might be the best he showed in a stretch, but he's been a good player for several years now.
Well, I'm not disputing. He definitely has good gap power, too. He hits a ton of doubles.
They also brought in Brett Lawrie, made a trade bringing him in to play second base. Now, we know Brett Lawrie, he's a guy that came up in the Toronto Blue Jays system, was a top prospect, didn't fulfill his potential there, went to Oakland, didn't break out with Oakland, and now he's going to come over to the White Sox and get another chance. He's still a young guy. We've seen it last season with Mike Moustakas. Sometimes it just takes a few years, even more than a few sometimes, for a guy to really meet his potential. So there's still a lot of upside here with Brett Lawrie, although, it is diminishing season by season.
That dude's a wacko, too, dude, in the clubhouse.
A wacko? Why? What'd he do?
Nothing, dude. He's just crazy.
He's a nut.
He's a straight up nut.
What they gave up was a left-handed pitcher, Zachary Irwin, and a right-handed pitcher, J.B. Wendelken. So they didn't really give up too much. Bring in Brett Lawrie, see if you can find his upside and get some offense out of him.
I want a guy named J.B. Wendelken on my baseball team.
A couple guys they lost. Infielder Gordon Beckham, always a solid player. They lost starting pitcher Jeff Samardzija.
Gordon Beckham's been complete garbage.
You never thought Gordon Beckham was a solid baseball player, at least? I'm not saying he's a star or anything, but...
Okay, fine. We'll say he's a serviceable major leaguer, but, overall, they took him high up in the draft. Yeah, he's still playing, but he hasn't been overly fantastic at all. Like he definitely.
He's had his years, man. I'm not saying he's a great player by any means or anything, but he's a solid baseball player, and he's in addition to whoever picks him up. You know what I mean?
Dude's beat.
I'll tell you who else is beat. They got that buster Adam LaRoche on their team.
They do have Adam LaRoche.
That dude is garbage.
He's not that bad, man. He's a
Horrible.
great defensive
Solid.
first baseman.
Horrible.
He has
Garbage.
some power, too.
Garbage.
The only reason you say he's garbage is because he played for the Pirates at one time.
No.
Yeah.
Gordon Beckham
He's
never-
garbage because he wasn't even good enough to stay with the Pirates when they were a bad team. So
Yeah, he couldn't
block
even. He
that
couldn't
dude.
even like.
He
Produce,
couldn't even be a
couldn't
star on a
produce.
team that was terrible. And I'm
Right.
talking about before the winning. I'm
Yes.
not even saying these last 3
He
years
couldn't even
when I
star
like to
on
hate
the
him.
worst team ever.
Yeah, when they were just complete garbage, he was still an idiot. F
Listen,
that dude.
Thank
this
you.
guy has some potential with the bat, man. I'm sorry.
He's too old to have potential.
Anybody that plays DH obviously has potential. Now, he is 36 years old. He's getting older, no doubt about it. But he's had some big years, man.
Nah.
I get it. Last year, he wasn't that great. But look, 2014, he hit 26 jacks, 20 home runs in 2013. 2012, he hit 33 home runs.
Pedro did that once too, and he don't even have a job.
But that doesn't mean he's not a good player, man. He could crush the ball. He'd be a great DH as well.
Over or under home runs for Adam LaRoche this year? 15.
Ooh,
Uh,
under.
I'm going to go over.
I'm gonna go even.
Even.
Nope. I'm under.
Under.
Dude's a bust.
Hating him.
Dude, he's not that bad. I mean, give him a break, man. He's had 30 home run seasons.
He's had one.
I think he's had 2 or 3.
He's so
He hit-
old.
He hit 32 home runs once and 33 home runs once, and he had 21, 25, 25, 25, 20, 26, 20.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know what? Is that the standard for home runs nowadays? 20.
I mean, it's a
Because
different
I guess
game
it's
today,
impressive,
man.
Because
Well, you hate on
20 home
A-Rod
runs.
Dash and say he's garbage, and he hits more
I
home
didn't
runs
say he
than
was
LaRoche.
garbage. He had 30 home runs last season. I said he had potential this season. I'm saying he doesn't hit 30 home runs again, but he was one of their better hitters last season. He also was able to take the walk as well. A-Rod definitely has value if he stays healthy, man.
well, I'll tell you what will happen. The Pittsburgh Pirates are going to bring in Adam LaRoche later this season to make up for now all them home runs we
Sean
we
Rodriguez is going to get hurt, so they'll bring in Adam LaRoche.
missed. Yeah.
He'll bring
But
in
I
Gordon
just wanted to hit
Beckham.
on LaRoche for a while because he's a buster.
All right, anyways, Jeff Samardzija, I was talking about him. The name, it's a big loss by name, but he really didn't pitch well for the White Sox last season, and I don't mind their rotation
Where'd he
right now.
go?
So he went to the San Francisco Giants.
Why did I think he was with Oakland?
Because he was for a while.
He was.
okay.
Actually, that's who the Cubs sent him to Oakland for Addison Russell, who's starting at shortstop right now for.
Okay.
That was a magnificent deal by the Chicago Cubs. They gave up Jason Hamill in that deal too, but I mean, that was a steal getting Addison Russell.
He got Jason Hamill back anyway. So.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he was having a good season that year. Went over to Oakland and stunk. But they also lost catcher Giovanni Soto. That's why they went out and signed 2 solid catchers. And then they lost shortstop Alexi Ramirez, longtime shortstop of the Chicago White Sox. And that's really where I said they were kind of weak at right now. They got Tyler Saladino there. He played his first major action in the bigs last season. Didn't show too much with the bat. They may give him a shot, see what he has, because, I mean, they have Jimmy Rollins as well. They're going to see if he can produce and see if he can maybe overtake him as a starter. But they also have a top prospect shortstop, Timmy Anderson. And in Double-A last season, he hit .312 with a .350 on base. Only 5 jacks, but he had 49 stolen bases. He doesn't take many walks, has average defense, but he has improved over the past few seasons.
The White Sox actually like him a lot.
Who? Timmy Anderson?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe they give Saladino a shot to see if he improved from last season offensively at all. If not, give it to Jimmy Rollins until Timmy Anderson is ready. You know what I mean? I think that's why they brought Jimmy Rollins in. And I mean, let's say Jimmy Rollins does end up being the starting shortstop on opening day. And I mean, we've seen it from Rollins before. There's times he looks like he's washed up, and then all of a sudden he just gets hot and he's a beast for a while.
All his
you know
shipment
what
of
I mean?
steroids probably came in that week. That's all. He's just not smart enough to order them in cycles, so he runs out for a while.
So I don't know. Let's say Rollins is your shortstop. I'll accept it for the beginning of the season, knowing you have a top shortstop in the minors as well. But then you got Todd Frazier at third base, Jose Abreu at first base. So you got the two big power bats at the corners. You brought in Brett Lowry to play second base.
Brett Lowry.
This guy still has some upside. I mean, like I said, it's diminishing, but there's the potential he could still break out. So I really like this infield. And then I go to the outfield. Avisel Garcia in right field. I mean, there's a little bit of questions with him if he can pick his game up a little bit. But I mean, he hit well when he was in the minor leagues, and I mean, he showed his potential in the bigs as well. There's been times where he's hit very well, and I think he's an acceptable third outfielder because there are other two outfielders. Melky Cabrera, he's a good baseball player. And Adam Eaton, this guy's a spark plug, and he does a little bit of everything as well. Has a little bit of pop, a little bit of speed, hits for average, can get on base a lot. So Adam Eaton's one of the better hitters on this team, in my opinion, and he's going to be a table setter for Frazier and Abreu. And then you got Adam LaRoche at DH. I know you guys hate him, but this dude's been hitting home runs for years, so I don't know what to say.
Hey, if he falters, they can always call Andy LaRoche.
Yeah,
If he falters, they can call any other person in the world that could swing a bat, and they'll do just as well.
That's all it's about, home runs, huh?
No, it's definitely not about
play
all about home runs.
162 games and hit 20 home runs, and you're a beast. That's what you're saying to me right now.
I'm not saying he is a beast. I'm saying
he's saying he ain't worth nothing but some 20 home runs. I consider that garbage.
That's pretty.
At 36
low
years
tolerances for garbage. No, I mean, I'll take 20 home runs in the lineup. I mean, as long as it's not the most home runs on my team. But
And how much is he getting paid for these 20 home runs? But did we even get into that?
I don't know what his
probably
contract is right now.
I know he's getting well overpaid for 20 home runs.
Look at it this way: we
Being
could have
36
him.
years
So
old.
think of it that way.
And like I said, the three catchers, Avila, Navarro, Brantley, I like that as well. And then I look at the rotation. You got your ace in Chris Sale, Jose Quintana.
He's actually been one of the most.
You want to know what he makes, Easy? I don't mean to interrupt you, 47, but this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, let me know.
LaRoche signed a 2-year, $25 million deal.
There you go.
$12.5 million.
That's ridiculous.
12.5. So he's
Dude, it's ridiculous. And then you love the Yankees, who spend
Oh,
that
no,
on
no,
the most garbage
I'm
players
just
in the
saying that
world.
LaRoche isn't worth that.
Sella
That's
loves
all.
the Yankees. You're talking. Let the people know you're talking to him now about the Yankees.
You never know, though. He can come up with a season, though, and he could actually.
Who
look
coming?
something.
A 36-year-old LaRoche coming up with a season? No, Jeff.
What do you,
No.
Dude, he was 2 years removed from a very, very good season. Very good season.
I'm 2 years
He's
removed.
the
I'm
6th
2 years
highest
removed
paid
from-
designated hitter in the league.
2 years
Well,
ago,
there's
I
only
weighed
15.
215 pounds.
He's the 3rd highest paid White Sox, and he's the 76th highest paid major leaguer per season.
It's fine.
It's good stuff.
I mean, it's $12.5 million.
Is it worth it, though? He's worth it?
It depends on who you're asking. If you're asking a team like the Pittsburgh Pirates, no, it's way overpaying for a guy like Adam LaRoche. But if you're asking someone else, I mean, if you're asking the Yankees, he's getting underpaid.
Okay. Yeah, and baseball, what's that called? Moneyball.
Moneyball. But let's get back to this rotation here. Quintana, a number 2 pitcher, I'll accept that.
I like him, actually. Like, he's been quietly very effective the last couple of years. You know, he's pitched on some really bad ball teams. I mean, he's thrown in over 200 innings. He doesn't strike out a ton of batters, but I'll tell you what, he's good at keeping the ball on the ground, which plays very nice in a hitter's-friendly ballpark, might I add.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of upside for me with him right there. Better run support. You know, you're looking at a guy who's 8-9 or 9-9. I know he was around there last year. You know, you could bump him up to maybe like 6-7 more wins easily, and all of a sudden, that's a great number 2.
Yeah, I agree with you completely on that. And plus, you have Carlos Rodon, who is listed as their number 4 pitcher right now. This guy has ace stuff as well. Now, if he realizes that potential this season, this rotation's set up very nice. If not, maybe he can pitch like a number 3 or number 4, and that's fine. You have John Danks listed at number 3 right now. I'd like an upgrade over that. So I'd rather consider Rodon my number 3, and I'm happy with those 3. Eric Johnson's good, at least a good number 4, number 5 pitcher. And then, like we said, you brought in Matt Latos. Yeah, he's had some down seasons here recently. Maybe he can at least perform a little better, be a back end of the rotation guy, even a number 5. And I'm liking this rotation.
Health could be a very key factor with Latos also. Hasn't really been healthy in a couple of years. You know, if he's been healthy, he's pretty much been effective.
Yeah, so all in all, man, I'm telling you, this team, everybody's saying this team's so bad. I look at the team from top to bottom, and they look pretty good to me. I mean, the one piece I would try to upgrade is probably Saladino, and he hasn't even seen enough time where I can make an assumption on him like that. Maybe he does get a little better this season at the plate. But if not, I mean, you have a top prospect in the minors you can call up. You just signed Jimmy Rollins. So I like what I see out of this White Sox team. You go to the bullpen, David Robertson still at the back end there. That's a good closer for you. You got Jacob Patrica, Zach Duke, Zach Putnam, Nate Jones, Daniel Webb. I mean, Tommy Conley. There's a lot of guys in the bullpen as well. So really, man, I don't know. Like I said, this division is going to be tight, and I would not be surprised if this team came in, I don't know, second place.
Well, I mean, keep this in mind right here. I'm going to tell you this right now. Nate Jones will be the Chicago White Sox closer at some point or another.
You heard it here first, folks.
You think Robertson's going to falter?
Well,
I mean, that guy pitched very well for the Yankees.
He struggled last year in the he was great in the first half. Was absolutely horrendous in the second half. Well, maybe not horrendous, but he wasn't great. He wasn't lights out like he should have been.
Well, how about Daniel Webb, a guy with a huge strikeout rate? He walks a little bit too many people. But he had huge numbers in the minor leagues as well. That guy could be a closer as well, in my opinion.
I like the fastball slider combination that Jones has. I mean, Jones throws the ball hard. He will pile up strikeouts, and he's a big guy.
So in the end, what are you saying? What place are you saying? What'd I say? I said Detroit third place, correct? And I said the Minnesota Twins fifth place. So I'm going to say fourth place for the Chicago White Sox.
Garbage.
Although, you could say it's garbage, man, but it could be a close race, and they may miss out on a division by 4 games and miss out on the playoffs and I don't know. This team looks good to me, man. They're not garbage by any means.
With Adam LaRoche on the team, they're going to miss out on everything and finish last.
I'm going to go ahead and say in fourth place, too. I like it.
Fourth place?
I mean, when I said the division's garbage, I guess I meant
it's even?
Not really even, but anyone has a shot. I mean, I could see one of these teams winning the division. I mean,
there's definitely going to be a team to win the division.
One of these 5 will win it. I guarantee you that.
I could see the White Sox, Minnesota. I can see them all winning the division.
Kansas City,
Any
Cleveland.
Kansas City's going to have a down year. They've balled hard. Now they're going to relax.
I don't think they're going to win the division again now, but I think they'll be right in the race. I think they'll be all right. What are you going to say, 47? What place?
Fifth.
Fifth place. Why?
Why? Well,
because of Adam LaRoche, right?
No, not quite Adam LaRoche, but you can. I don't know. I reserve the right to say it could be Adam LaRoche. However, I mean, left field's a possible weakness. Melky Cabrera, slow start last year, was good in the second half, I'll admit, but
they can't all be all-stars, man. Melky Cabrera's been a solid player, even after he got busted doing steroids.
Well, think of it this way. Adam Eaton's going to be fine in center field.
Right.
But I'm questioning the production you might get out of Garcia and Cabrera. You know, they're going to need some offense from these guys, definitely. You know, I mean, even getting Frazier was a nice addition to put in the middle of your lineup, give Abreu some protection, help him out a little bit. But in the end, is it going to be enough? I mean, they definitely upgraded with Brett Lowry.
Yeah.
Over what they've had recently. With all due respect to
Gordon Beckham.
Not feeling
him.
Beckham at all. In fact, he's actually with the Braves, come to think of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, they definitely did upgrade there. I just don't see it being enough. The bullpen still has some major question marks in it. Robinson struggled last year. I like the top 3 in this rotation with Chris Sale, Jose Quintana, and Carlos Rodon. Definitely a nice top 3. I don't like the people necessarily rounding out their rotation, although I think Johnson does show some promise. He was good last year at the end of the season.
And Latos, man, I don't know. I think their rotation will round out fine. I think this team has a shot to actually do something this season. But I said the same thing last season. That's why I'm going to pick them in fourth place because really, I don't know. I seen it in them last season. Jeff Samardzija pitched like crap for him, and they really weren't in the race at any point last season. And I'm just not going to trust them this season until I see it from them.
It just wouldn't surprise me to see them fit. Like, I think our ceiling this year is number 3.
What about you, Jim?
The Sox?
Yes.
They're going to finish 5th, man. I already said it. Last.
Oh, 5th place.
That's it.
So we got 2 fourths, a 5th, and what'd you say, 5th?
5th.
So 2 fourths and 2 fifths. That hurts, man. I like what I see out of Chicago here. I think every team's good in this division. It's going to be tough.
I think they're going to be solid. They're going to be okay, but I think this division is going to be very tight, though. I mean, I don't think you're going to really see any 90-win teams in this division this year. The winner of this division is going to win 85, 86 games, in my opinion. That's
that low.
That's how tight this division, I think, is going to
Toy
be.
like a Toiger. Like a Detroit Toiger.
There's 2 teams I could see pulling out 90-win seasons in this division.
Who's that?
The Royals or the Indians.
Indians, baby. All right, so that's it. Chicago White Sox not getting it done this season, although they look pretty good to me. I don't know why I'm saying they're not getting it done.
Because they're garbage. They're from Chicago. Nobody from Chicago wins anything.
Damn Canadians and their Chicagos.
Who's going to win the NL Central, Jim?
The Pirates division?
Yeah.
The Cubs.
Oh, okay.
Well, they're not going to win anything beyond the division.
No, but you just said no one wins from Chicago.
Well,
I
you
got
a
I got
division.
you on that one.
That's what I
A
just
division
asked.
don't mean squat. You got to win the World Series.
Oh,
Okay.
come on.
So,
That's asking a little much.
Speak.
That's
How
it.
about-
What do you mean it's asking much? Kansas City just won one.
I understand. But that doesn't mean the St. Louis Cardinals were a bad team last season.
Well, that's all we got for you, fans. Any controversy, any comments you want to start, hit us up on Twitter at bet_the_spread. Hit me up on Twitter at betjimtowin. Check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/betthespread. Keep coming back to YouTube and click and subscribe. I think we hit a home run with this segment.